Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Lindsay. I'm responsible for our diversity and inclusion policy at UITP. So it's a real pleasure to be here. I would really like to applaud UIC's initiative to launch this project and start working on this from the real angle. I mean, I also actually have a train to catch, so I'm going to be very brief and then I'm going to have to leave you to it. But I wanted to share a little bit about what UITP is doing in this space. I think it's the kind of topic where it would really be worthwhile, you know, for associations like UITP and UIC to work together and to share what we're doing. I maybe just before I get into what UITP is doing, just a comment on what's been discussed so far, which is super fascinating. The presentation there from the last presentation, I think, is really amazing because it already challenges some of the preconceptions that we have about women and how they move. And maybe I think, you know, one thing which is crucial that we always talk about at UITP is that we shouldn't, I mean, I still sometimes have the feeling in the rhetoric that we talk about women in public transport as if it's a minority issue, whereas women are the majority of transport users. So this idea that this is like a marginal topic, we really need to address that. And, you know, as always in a forum like this, it's brilliant to share, but we are a little bit preaching to the converted. And I think, you know, some of the thoughts I'm having, I would love to discuss this with UIC as well, is how can we reach out to you know, a broader audience about this issue and raise the awareness, because, you know, it's, as I said, it's brilliant to discuss all of this amongst the converted, but how do we raise the awareness? So that was just a little comment. But at UITP, we look at diversity and inclusion, if you like, through four streams. On the one hand, the UITP itself as an association, as an employer, and then with our members in terms of public transport focus. And I really wanted to share that because I think it's really crucial that, you know, their values, if you like, are aligned. And when I started putting together our D&I policy at UITP, when we got a new Secretary General, Mohammed Masgani, who was very aware of the importance of these issues, we had no policy at all. We had no women on the management board. We had no women on our executive board. We had very few women speaking at our events and in our panels. So the starting point was really grim. And so we really wanted to align UITP, because I can't be participating in panels like this talking about the importance of gender balance in the public transport industry on behalf of an association which does not engage women. So it just didn't make sense at all. And for all the other reasons about, you know, performance, etc., we know that involving more women in whatever you're doing and having better balance is good. So we have on the UITP side a policy which has allowed us to, for example, increase our the share of women on our management boards to getting close to 50%. We have, you know, deployed recruitment practices which are best practices in terms of gender balance, and we always provide to the staff forums, for example, through our staff retreat for training and that kind of thing about diversity and inclusion and awareness. And then as an association, as how we run our activities, our policy is very, very clear. We set out to double the number of women speaking at our events, and we managed to do that from maybe around 2018 to 2023. We have managed to double. So at our last summit, for example, we had 43% women at all of our speaking on all the panels, which is great. We have a diverse panel charter, which we encourage all of our members and partners to sign, which, you know, commits to not putting on men-only panels on whatever the topic is. And we have managed to increase our board composition of all of our boards up to 1/3 women. A few years ago it was 0%. So we're very, very proud of what we've done, but it's just by having awareness and having a policy that we can implement. And it really, I've noticed a massive difference on how UITP is run. And for example, we have just elected our first female president of UITP, which is the first in 135-year history, and that just wouldn't have happened 5 years ago. So, you know, having policies and really driving them is a brilliant way to start. then, yeah, on more of the public transport side, if you like, we have a working group made up of our members, and we bring them together regularly to share best practices on how to include women, but also other topics on diversity and inclusion. We have a number of social dialogue initiatives working together with ITF that you'll hear from in a minute. We run campaigns, awareness campaigns, both reaching out to the traveling public as well as the sector on the importance of safety, for example, and the importance of women in leadership roles. And we engage in a number of research projects to try and to further all of the thinking. And maybe just to finish, we have I fully agree that the data is the number one issue that we need to crack at the moment. It's very difficult to persuade any change without the real data and gender disaggregated data. So we are, UITP absolutely willing to see how we could work together to help to improve that. We are currently working on a research project funded by the European Investment Bank, which is surveying our members to see, amongst other things, if they do collect data and if they do something with it in terms of gender disaggregated data. So once we have the results of that survey, I'll be very willing to share with you with this forum. And that's it. Maybe just the next slide and finished. Yeah, this is just, I'll leave it with you as a little infographic of what we've achieved through our gender policy. And then the next slide is, just to, I wanted to really underline that we have a female president for the first time, and she has declared that diversity and inclusion is her #1 priority topic for the association for the coming 2 years. So this is really great because it means that we can mobilize a bit more our resources and our members on this topic. And finally, as I mentioned, we have this diverse panel charter. If you go to the next slide, and you would all be very welcome to sign it, to commit either as an individual or as an organization to eradicating men-only panels in this industry. And although it may be a symbolic thing, we have noticed it makes a huge difference because, for example, whenever we have an event where we have doubled the number of women on the panels, the next time we do a call for papers for that same event, the number of women replying doubles. So it really works. And although it's just the association, it means that there's awareness growing amongst our membership of the importance of this issue and that you can drive some change. So thank you very much. I'm very sorry that I can't stay, but I'm really looking forward to keeping in touch with you on these issues, and good luck for the rest of the project.
Thank you.